Out to Play event in Pokemon Go is coming out, and we're going to give you the top tips to help you break down everything to hopefully get you a shiny Hisuian Growlithe in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. The event is going down on Wednesday, September 27th at 10 a.m. and that's going to go all the way until October 2nd at 8 p.m. So you have approximately 6 days to grind this event. The event bonuses are going to be Kecleon appearing more frequently from Pokestops, and just a reminder, Kecleon is going to be shiny coming from those Pokestops. We are going to get 3 times XP for completing a route, and then finally we are getting 2/3 the buddy distance to be able to get candy while on a route. So we're going to talk about this in some top tips. And most importantly, we're gonna have spawns, we're gonna have 7-kilometer eggs, 2-kilometer eggs, we're gonna have field research and everything of the like, and we're gonna break that down in all of our top tips, but I'm just gonna focus on the main overarching goal of the event here first. And there are going to be 2 of them. Okay, so number 1, there's gonna be some route updates as well. What do you guys say, routes or routes? Let me know in the comments below. So the route update is going to be, we're gonna get increased Zygarde cells coming from routes when completing them. Okay, so if you guys didn't see my video where I talk about how to avoid some of the glitches, because sometimes I feel like the Zygarde cells do not pop up properly, check it out up here. Basically what happens is almost towards the end, if you don't see one pop up, force close the game, reopen it, and there's a potential that a Zygarde cell will pop up. But if you want more details, that video will help you out. So that's number 1, complete as many routes as possible. And then I'm gonna give you a second video to watch after this video as well, and that's gonna be up here where we talk about how using a route can get your buddy excited extremely fast, which will get you more buddy XL candy faster. So if you do need anything for candy and XL candy from walking your buddy, getting it excited will reduce it to 50% and earn you more XL candy for that Pokemon. But granted, some Pokemon such as legendaries are still going to be 10 KMs per candy. But walking them at this time, if you're going to do a lot of kilometers, is still a good way to be able to try to get a little bit extra candy and XL candy for a Pokemon that may be challenging to get, such as some mythicals. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to talk about the Hisuian Growlithe. That one is going to be shiny. So there's going to be 2 field research tasks out there that can help you get this Pokemon. There's going to be hatch 3 eggs and walk 5 kilometers. Both of them will give you a Hisuian Growlithe encounter. The shiny is great. It is a orange kind of tiger looking color, and the 100% IV will be 566. This Pokemon will also be hatching from 2 and 5 kilometer eggs. Let's talk about it. 100% IV will be 766. It is different from the regular Growlithe 100% IV, so do keep that in mind. But I wanted to point that out that it is hatching here. Would I suggest hatching 7 kilometer eggs? We will check that out in a tip. But also, Larvesta will be hatching from 2 kilometer eggs as well. And just a reminder, you need a lot of candy for that Pokemon, but 855 is the 100% IV there. Okay, so those are the 2 most important focuses of this event for me, but we're gonna start getting into my top tips, starting off with tip number 1. Tip 1, all about routes. Okay, so here are the updates. There's going to be an increased availability of routes in Pokemon Go. The trainer level to create routes will be lowered, which is a plus. There's going to be a couple quality of life improvements for the routes, which will be directional arrows. There's going to be a nearby menu, and then also in the Zygarde cell in the bag, it looks like, you're going to have a count of how many cells you have, so you don't have to go into the Zygarde every single time to be able to see that. Just a reminder, you needed a lot of Zygarde cells to be able to evolve, so doing the routes during this time will help you out. Just a reminder, more trainers will be able to create routes. You're going to get an increased frequency of Zygarde cells, and there's going to be a new notification that will let you know that there's routes nearby. Not only that, my favorite part of the routes is that completing a route with a buddy and doing all the things that get your buddy excited can get your buddy excited so much faster. So if you're trying to push any type of buddy that you have to best buddies, this is a great time to do so. So do not overlook this. Do not pass it up. Participate with your buddy that you're trying to get best buddy. Get it excited. And then additionally, we have the bonus of 2/3 candy when walking your buddy. So if you do take a buddy, you take it on a route, you do exactly what I say. You play with it, you take a snapshot, and then you are going to give it a berry to put it on the map. Battle with it by doing a team leader real quick, backing out. That's going to give you 4 hearts. Then you're going to set a 30-minute timer, walk a route. Once that 30-minute timer is up, you're going to do the same thing all over again, walk another route, and in this time frame, hopefully you have walked 2 kilometers, and more than likely your buddy should be excited at this time. If not, you're going to have to set a second 30-minute timer and do it it one more time. But if you follow this appropriately, things such as Zygarde, such as Jirachi, such as Mew, while they are 20 kilometers per candy and XL candy gained, you can then do it all again, and it's going to be 2/3 of that when it's excited, which will be 6 and some change kilometers to get you that XL candy. So if there are any Pokemon out there, such as myself, as well as Cosmog, I want to get some XL candy for that, this is going to be the Pokemon that I'm going to be walking during this time. So don't overlook that, capitalize on this, and make the most. So then that's going to lead us into tip number 2. Tip 2 is going to be all about the spawns. So we do have some shinies out there in the wild, which are going to be Psyduck, Growlithe, Onix, Eevee, Phoebus, and I'm just going to say Phoebus because it is a rarer Pokemon. So do please capitalize, use a Mega Water Pokemon, and focus on this one. That would be very effective for you guys to get some extra Phoebus candy. I mean, it's not a super meta relevant Pokemon, but it's a cool Pokemon. The melodic looks fantastic. We have Woobat, we have Pawmi, and then we also have Arcanine spawning in the wild. Just remember, Arcanine will give you a guaranteed 1 XL candy when caught and increased Stardust, so do catch that Pokemon as well. So of this Pokemon, we do have Steelix ranked 10 in the Great League, with Dragon Tail, Breaking Swipe, and Earthquake. The 100% IV will be a 0, 14, 15, and then in the Ultra League, ranked 2 with the exact same moveset at a 2, 15, 15 at 49 and a half, so you will need just about 296 XL candy to be able to maximize out on this Pokemon for the Ultra League. And then we do have Eevee going into Umbreon in the Great League, ranked 52 with Snarl, Foul Play, and Last Resort, which you will need to use an Elite TM for it because that was the old Comday move, at a 0, 15, 15, and then don't forget, in the Ultra League, it can be an all 15, 15, 15, so 100% IVs, maxed out to level 50 below. It's not quite sub 100, but it's ranked 116. And then let's not forget that Onix into Steelix, and even if you do use your PvP Steelix, because you're not going to use it as a meta attacker, you're going to use it as a Mega level 3 because it's a ground and a steel type combination, great combination type, so you can Mega any of the Steelixes that you end up using in Pokemon Go because the IVs don't matter. You're not battling with this Pokemon. It's not a battle Pokemon. It's an optimized XL candy Mega level 3, so please do that. So those are going to be the spawns in this event, which is leading us to tip 3. Tip 3 will be field research, which will be either a Hisuian, Quillfish, or a Sneasel. The Sneasel is an 879 100% IV, and the Quillfish is a 915. Hatch 3 eggs, once again, will be the Growlithe, 566. Walk 1 kilometer will be a Pawmi at 272, and then we have walk 5 kilometers, once again, will be the Hisuian Growlithe. So those are the ones that are out right now. There's probably going to be maybe a few more, I would say, but these are the most impactful because we're really only looking for the Hisuian Growlithe. For me personally, I don't know about you guys, I would love the Sneasel 100% IV, but I'm not overly pressed about it. And then we have some research. So we have out to play research, timed, explore 5 kilometers for an incense, hatch 3 eggs, follow a route, walk 1,000 meters while traveling routes, use an incense while following a route, catch 20 Pokemon while following a route. You can get 1,000 Stardust for all of those for 5,000 Stardust. Then we're going to get rewards of a Hisuian Growlithe and a Incubator. And then we also have Tales of Adventure, so you're going to have walk 1 through 5 kilometers, which will give you all regular Growlithes and Hisuian Growlithes. And then the rewards will be 2 Incubators, 1 Super Incubator, and a Hisuian Growlithe encounter. And the regular Growlithe coming from field research will be 533. So as of right now, that's all the research that we do know. If more does come out, we will cover that in the pinned comments below, which is then going to be tip 4. Tip 4, 2-kilometer eggs and 7-kilometer eggs. In 2-kilometer eggs, we do have the Hisuian Growlithe. We also have the Chinchou. We're going to have Cleffa in there. All of them are going to have shinies so far. We have Igglybuff, Metatite. We have Larvesta. We have Fomantis, Wimpod, and Lechonk. And just to cover this, Metacham is going to be rank 1 in the Great League with Counter, Ice Punch, and Psychic at a 5, 15, 15. So you can trade this even with a best friend and get the optimal IV set. The Volcarona, if anybody is wondering, is best ranked in the Master League at 204. Not super relevant. However, in the Great League, the Lurantis is ranked 26. IV's at 0, 15, 15, so you'll have to trade a random friend to be able to try to get this from eggs. And then in the Ultra League, we have a 127, which is not super relevant, but it is what it is. And then in the 7-kilometer eggs, this was the original egg pool right here, which is a lot of Pokemon. So there is a potential that all these will be in 7-kilometer eggs, but as of right now, it is updated and is much smaller, which is probably much more accurate. So here is going to be the Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Voltorb, Quillfish, and Sneasel. Okay, so I suggest you guys stay away from these 7-kilometer eggs as much as possible. Focus on the 2-kilometer eggs and everything else. 7-kilometer eggs right now. If there was all those Pokemon, maybe it would be worth it, but the egg pool at that point would be so large that I probably wouldn't go with it. So with that said, now let's get into tip number 5. is going to be creating routes in Pokemon Go. Okay, so if you guys do have some pretty cool routes, what I would suggest doing, here's multiple things that I would suggest doing. Number one, create a Calm Day route. A route where you go around a circle that you suggest people to grind in your area, especially if somebody is coming in from out of town and they're like, I don't know where to play Calm Day. And if you had a community day optimized route in your area that hits multiple Pokestops, gyms, and it is in a good spawn area, great to be able to do it. Always have the reverse route available. Number two, I would suggest creating some type of scenic routes. And number three, I would suggest also not creating super long routes in Pokemon Go, because at what point do these routes that are really long actually help you out? It seems like, from what I've seen, you can get 3 spawns during these routes. You're getting 1, 2 Pokemon, and on the third one, you either get a Pokemon or a Zygarde cell. So if you're only getting 3 spawns approximately, and maybe they're gonna update this during this process, and if you guys have seen differently, let me know in the comments below. I would suggest to keep them short, concise, and simple, because number one, this helps you out with boosting up your buddies faster. You don't wanna be on a route. I've seen one that says it's walking 42 minutes. Why do we wanna be on a 42-minute route? That doesn't do anything for me. Having a nice 10-minute route or even less, you know, one where it's just like, oh, for instance, in Dana Point, if you guys do ever come to Dana Point, California, if you're at Heritage Park, I have a route that can be reversed, and it's gonna take you all along the upper harbor coastline so you can see the entire harbor coastline. It's beautiful, it's short, it's simple, it hits a couple gyms, and it hits a couple Pokestops, and it's great. And if I go forward with my buddy, I can then reverse it as well, right? So it's a very powerful thing. Don't make them too long, make them efficient, but make them powerful in the game, because routes can help you on Calm Days, they can help you boost your buddy, and in this event, they can help you get more XL candy, which is very important. So that's going to be everything that I'm seeing for this event. If there's anything else that I missed, drop in the comments below and spread some love to everybody. Appreciate you guys watching as always. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscription, and participation to level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.